Welcome back to our channel, Living on the Ohio River. Hi, I'm Kara Henshaw from Key Associates Signature Realty, and I love to do these videos on work, living, and playing here in Southern Indiana and Northern Kentucky. If you are new to our channel, make sure you tap that subscribe button. Wouldn't want you to miss our videos, which we do once a week. So today we're going to do a driving tour, and we happen to be in Newburgh. So you're going to kind of just see some subdivisions as I go around and talk about, is the Indiana housing market crashing with these interest rates hikes and just the inflation going on in the economy? Is the world of real estate coming to doom in Indiana? So come along with me and take a ride and look at some beautiful subdivisions and get an insight of what is happening here in Indiana. So we're touring Newburgh here, and I'm just going to drive through some subdivisions, why we talk about the market here in Indiana, and just give you a feel of what the subdivisions look like in this area. So you have to apologize, I do not have the best holder here. So obviously the interest rates in the last few days you've heard of, climbed to 7%. Jerome Powell, I'm sure everybody's listened to what the Fed has to say, and just about the market across the U.S. And I thought I'd do just a little discussion just around Indiana in general, and talk specific Newburgh, since I'm in Newburgh driving around today. Obviously everybody's scared. Interest rates are climbing. They hear the market is falling, with inflation and gas and food and housing. Everybody's like, we're in this huge recession, and just everybody's kind of scared and, on the fence, and I get it. But what I'm wanting to talk about today and really point out and kind of go against all the stuff that you hear, especially when you're looking at nationwide statistics and you're hearing all those news, what is going on here in Indiana. And just to kind of combat some of that negative vibe that you're hearing around the housing market across the U.S., I thought I'd pull some statistics around Indiana. And the biggest chunk I did is we are in the Indiana Original MLS, which is probably one of the bigger MLSs in Indiana. Covers northern Indiana, kind of west of maybe Indianapolis, and then a lot of the south of southern Indiana. So it does give us a good pulse across the state, and just thought I would just pull those statistics, see where we are in Indiana. One good thing about Indiana is, people climb with values, especially like a Phoenix or a Las Vegas or Florida, wherever you may be or hear about all the time on the news. They climb a lot faster than us in values. Now, over the past COVID time frame, a lot of people have climbed, obviously. And, we've hit 20% increases year over year, especially maybe here in Newburgh, not all of Indiana, but here in Newburgh, yes. But definitely double digits in a lot of areas in Indiana. But one thing is we don't climb and fall as fast as other areas. We lag behind bigger areas if you're looking at across the United States. I'll kind of go into what I think is typical. I've been selling for over 18, 19 years. I can tell you what the appreciation was, when we were normal, in a normal market. But the one thing I did pull, and I looked at June, July, August, and September numbers, just to get a feel of where we were from last year, so you could understand what's happening in Indiana. So if you look at 2021, 309 homes were sold in Newburgh. Since we're in Newburgh, I'm going to talk about Newburgh. And I'm going to drive through, just kind of watch here, just give you a feel of some of these houses as we go through. Newburgh is very much made up of subdivisions, so there's going to be a lot of stuff I'm going to pull in, pull out, just so you can get a feel of what the area looks like. But in Newburgh specifically, and we are talking about a fairly high price point area in southern Indiana. So, it may not reflect all of Indiana, just to keep that in mind. But it gives you a good pulse of what's happening in this market, where values have in past and now have held and are doing well. So if you look at 2021, 309 homes were sold in the Newburgh area. I pulled 2022 numbers and 297 homes were sold. So we are only down 4%. Now, the thing I really want to point out is a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, the sky is falling. I don't want to buy. The values are going to just, you know, get killed. And that is not true. So here is a Jago community, which I'm driving through, just to give you a point here. And so what I really want to point out is I did look at the value. So if we look at 2021, the average value of home that sold was $314,000. In 2022, it's been $355,000, and this is over where interest rates started climbing. So we're talking about July and on, and that is still a 13% increase from last year to this year, when everybody says the sky is falling. So don't think the values are falling here in Newburgh specifically. I'll talk about Indiana's numbers as well, but since we're sitting here and driving through these beautiful neighborhoods, I'm going to talk about Newburgh. Another thing is days on market. Last year we were 8 days, and this year we're a whooping 10 days. So, you know, it's still a very tight market here in Newburgh. We may not be selling in hours and a million offers, but we are definitely still in a decent market. So I just like to point out, you know, everybody's talking about, oh my gosh, you know, the market's horrible. Well, you know what? If you look at days on market and what the supply is, it's absolutely crazy that people think the market is in this horrible place. When I go back and look 15 years ago when I sold houses, we were 6 or 7 months of supply. Today, here in Newburgh specifically, we are 0.67. It is still a very strong seller's market. So see all these nice little cul-de-sacs? I'm just driving around, just giving you a feel of these homes. So don't be fooled by everything that you hear on the news. It is definitely still going strong here in the Newburgh area in southern Indiana. Just, you know, a stable market is 6 months. We're at 0.67 here in Newburgh. So don't feel like, you know, the sky is falling, values are plummeting. That is not the case. You hear it, you know, on the news all the time. Yes, does it take a few more days to sell maybe? Yeah, whoop-de-doo. We're not even at a month. A month is no big deal. 6 months is what's stable. We have a long way to go before we get even into a stable buyer and seller market. So it is still very much a seller's market here in Newburgh, and actually in the state of Indiana, from the data that I pulled, at least from the one MLS. Like I said, there is more data from other sources of other MLSs, but this gives you a good feel of, you know, I'd say good half of Indiana. So I don't want to, you know, scare people. The numbers aren't as great as they are. Again, we are in a higher price point here in Newburgh. So I want people to understand that. So while we're talking about just the state of Indiana, what I did when I pulled the IRMLS data, and I did the same, actually what I did is just kind of looked at kind of the same data range. Of course, we're talking about a much bigger area that we're covering, multiple counties. So it's not going to be, oops, car wants to pull out in front of me. It's going to be, you know, a little bit different spread. You're going to not have as affluent houses. You're going to be more in the country. You're going to have older towns that maybe not as high and fluctuating with appreciation, but in general, it'll give you a good feel. So I pulled all of these solds for the IRMLS, and it was 2,572 homes. And then I looked at what was active, which is roughly about 5,189 homes. Does that sound like it's a bad market? We are at 2 months of supply. Still a seller's market here in a majority of Indiana. Like I said, 6 months is that number to make it stable. So we are very much in a seller's market still here in majority of Indiana. And I did pull values as well. I thought, well, let's go see if the values are holding as tight as Newburgh, because a market is, you know, within a market, all markets are a little different. Every town's a little different. I'm just going to pull in here again. We're just pulling in to see some subdivisions here. And one good thing about Newburgh is you have all different price points, ranges, ages, all that good stuff. So just enjoy the views as I drive through. But I did look at 2021 numbers, and that was roughly 221,000 was the average price. And in 2022, it was 231,000 roughly is what the 2022. So we are going up still. We are not plummeting in value. That's about a 4.5% increase from last year. It's not the 13% like Newburgh. Like I said, there's markets within markets, everyone. But just trying to show you that the values are not plummeting. We were, like when you look at COVID, the time during COVID, there was multiple offers. We were pricing them at market value, but the supply was so crazy that honestly things were going way above market. And just because people were going $20,000 above, I feel like we've stabilized right now, and we really are truly at what the values were to be and are as we are speaking now. So I think that's why you're seeing the 4% kind of more where it should be in line with. I would say Indiana typically is, you know, your 2% appreciation from year over year from what I've seen in the past. So, you know, 4 is still good. Again, that's a big area. You're talking rural, you're talking cities, you're talking small towns, you know, just a little bit of everything. So it's, you know, just a very good outlook on general in Indiana is what I thought. So I wanted to highlight that as well. I looked at days on market as well, and 2021 was 19. We are seeing an increase of about 6 days. We're at 25. Whoop-dee-doo, it takes you a month to sell your house. I remember when it took 6 months to a year sometimes to sell a house 17 years ago. So we're still good, we're still strong. Again, like I said, the days on market, I mean the supply to actually sell is about 2 months. To basically, if you're looking at what you currently have listed, which again, versus what you're sold, how long does it take to get all your inventory moved? And that's what that 2 months is. Stable is 6 months. And I'll keep reiterating that we are in a seller's market, and that's majority in Indiana as well as Newburgh. So, you know, just don't get scared when you see the Fed coming out and starting to say we're going to be rising interest rates. I get it. It may not be the right time for you to buy financially. You got to make sure whenever you're looking at it from your expenses and your incomes that it is the smart buy, and we can help you analyze that. But from a standpoint of being scared and sitting on the sidelines because you think values are plummeting, that is not true as of today. I don't have a crystal ball. Can't tell you that in 4 months things won't change, but I can tell you based off the data I have right now, and the last 4 months when we have started seeing interest rates rising and inflation, you know, kicking in, that it has not killed the values of the homes that we are seeing today. So one good thing, if you are a buyer and you are on the fence about looking or been off, you know, not looking because the demand was so high, you were losing out to offers, it is a really good time to come on the market right now. A lot more inventory to select from. You're not going to be in as much of that bidding war as, you know, you might have been, you know, 5-6 months ago. You make a decision a little bit slower. You can maybe get more of what you want in the house and not making a rash decision. Just something to consider if you were in the market but not in the market today. So one thing that I've noticed is I do list a lot, is I've been listing a lot lately. A lot of people have been coming on the market. So again, that's a good thing for you buyers, and it's a good thing for the sellers. I mean, it may take you a little longer, like I said, to sell, but the values are still there. So, you know, if you are thinking about selling and you've been on the fence because you're worried about the market and not getting the value you want, get on the market. You will not lose out. You know, I'm keeping a pulse on it. I'll definitely educate you as I go. I'm going to try to do more of these videos as the markets change, because we are in a changing market, that is for sure. But we are definitely still in a very good market for sellers, but also opening up a little bit for buyers, which just makes your life a little bit easier when you're shopping. So if this is something that you're needing help with, just don't know how to go about it, definitely give me a call, our team. We can definitely analyze it for you and help you, you know, figure out what's best for you, your family. You know, we look out for what is in the best interest of your situation, and I'll definitely, you know, analyze that with you, talk to a mortgage person if you don't have one, and we can figure out, you know, what is the best scenario for you. So we are actually heading down, and we're going to hit a few more neighborhoods. Like I said, this isn't the focal point of the actual discussion of what we're talking about. I just wanted to talk about the market, give a little update. The Indiana housing market is not crashing down. Values are holding firm. I know there's been a lot of talks, a lot of live things with Jerome Powell. Everybody's, you know, on edge about exactly what the housing market is doing, and it's doing things differently everywhere. Like I said, markets are within markets, and you just don't know until you get out there. Talk to your local real estate wherever you may be living. If you're not in Indiana, you're in another state, talk to your realtors there. The realtors know and have a feel of exactly what is happening. I honestly feel like we are busier than ever right now picking up than we were even maybe 2 months ago. It did dip for a while and was slower, but it's definitely picking up. So keep that in mind, and if you are looking, reach out. We can get you set up and you know, get you on your way to start looking for that dream home that you may be looking for, wherever it may be in southern Indiana or northern Kentucky. So one thing about Newburgh, I'm going to go back to talking about Newburgh since we're driving through. There's a lot of subdivisions here. I'm going to drive in here to one that a lot of people like, which is Rolling Ridge Estates. I don't think I've ever done a video on this one, actually. Maybe I need to do a video on this. I will actually do a video just to give you a good summary of some of the areas of Newburgh and where everything's located here in the next maybe few weeks. But I did want to give you the market update, because I have a lot of people as a real estate agent. Every time I see them, they ask me, what is the market doing? So, you know, I just like to make sure that I get the information out there, because it is a question that everyone asks if you're a real estate agent, and every agent out there could attest that they would hear the same information if they were obviously in the, you know, same environment as me. So that just I didn't want to go driving through them, just give me feels here. We're gonna go down here and take a right, give you another feel of an area. There is a lot of subdivisions. Like I said, I will do a future subdivision of Newburgh, because there's so many of them, and different price points. They're not all high end. They are climbing in value, but there are some pockets of a little less expensive homes. Oops, not paying attention where I'm going. We're gonna take a ride up here. Lake Ridge we actually passed, but I've kind of done a video on it if you haven't seen it, so look for it. That's a very popular neighborhood. But we'll go in maybe one more, and then we'll finish up. And again, you can just get a feel of what Newburgh has to offer. We'll go down this direction here. Actually, I could give you the little, we're gonna go down here actually. Can't decide where I want to take you. So again, the market is not falling. I don't know how many times I have to reiterate that. And actually, I love that about Indiana. We don't fall as hard because we don't climb as hard. So, you know, it's one good thing to consider if you're looking to move to the Indiana area. And you know, the cost of living is so reasonable in Indiana. I don't know how many people that are moving from other states just because of affordability. There is just so much to offer, especially lifestyle. Southern Indiana specifically is so pretty. You have so much that offers with nature, and it's just gorgeous. You got the rolling hills, and Southern Indiana in general just is a really pretty place. So let's go down. Like, this is kind of older, like some older homes that you would find in Newburgh. We're kind of on like going the north and then going east of Newburgh, if you're wondering where we're at. But there's pockets, because at one point Newburgh wasn't really all subdivisions, it was just older homes. So you do have a lot of these pockets of different homes that are just nestled in these beautiful roads, trees that are older, have a little bit more land. Let's just go into one here. Let's go this one. We're in Timberview Estates. This is an older subdivision. Nice, but just, you know, it's not brand new. But look at the mature trees when you get into some of these subdivisions that are a little bit more mature. Pretty homes. And there's just pockets of a lot of this throughout Newburgh. Like I said, someday I'll do maybe a price point and summary. Wouldn't you want to live on this beautiful street? I mean, look how private it feels, and shade and tree-lined streets. It really is gorgeous. Southern Indiana is a hidden gem, is what I tell everybody. And I am a little biased because I was born and raised here. But I have lived in different areas. I lived in North Carolina for a while, and it was pretty as well, just different. So we're just gonna loop around here and finish this video up. If you have any questions about moving back to the area, definitely reach out to me, call, text. I got your back. I know pretty much all of Southern Indiana. I don't know how many videos I've done. If you've not seen my videos, definitely check them out. Again, I'm going to try to keep up more with the market and videos as well, in addition to like the community videos, so you can get an idea. So again, thank you for watching. I hope this inside of Indiana's market was helpful. If you need anything, again, call, text 812-686-3268. And until next time, I'll see you then.